new science that we can't even imagine now.
Orbital Reef starts with two strategic partners, Blue Origin and Sierra Space. These two together have the fundamental elements that give us both transportation of cargo and crew and the destination system essentials. In addition, we have a set of expert teammates, which includes Boeing, who will be developing our research module.
We'll be providing crew and cargo transportation with the Starliner, and when the orbital reef is operational, we'll provide all of the operations and maintenance necessary to sustain the orbital reef.
Genesis, who are developing the single-person spacecraft for suitless extravehicular activity.
ASU is going to bring together this international group of 14 universities to work with Orbital Reef on the ethics and guidelines of research, on how we can bring to bear all of our expertise.
And Redwire, who provide in-space manufacturing.
Leveraging the microgravity environment to push new science, new discoveries, and new commercial applications.
We're working very hard to make sure that Orbital Reef is not just for the entities that have had access to space so far. It's intended to be humanity's footprint in Earth orbit, and that means all the nations and companies and peoples of the world.
I think that Orbital Reef offers us an opportunity at this point in history to really approach the next frontier as humans and to expand beyond the surface of the planet.
Maybe there's a company that wants to manufacture materials in space. Maybe there's a school that wants to send an experiment up. Maybe there's a nation that's ready to send someone into low Earth orbit to inspire their entire nation.
It's limitless, the implications of microgravity research, development, and manufacturing. Every aspect of our life, of industry, of science, will be impacted by the discoveries that we make on Orbital Reef.
This unique environment that's only a couple of hundred miles away from us is both transformative and accessible. It's incredibly exciting.
Our team is absolutely honored and thrilled to have received an award from NASA to continue advancing our Orbital Reef partners alongside our teammates. We actually at Blue Origin do have a lot of great experience with conducting this kind of microgravity research. Eddie, New Shepard has really been the test bed for this at Blue Origin. Can you tell us about that?
I'd love to, Jackie. We've got an incredibly capable payload integration management team that has flown over 11 successful payload flights on New Shepard, getting these researchers 180 seconds of microgravity and just advancing science as we know it. So kudos to them, and I'm just so proud of them, Jackie.
I am as well, Eddie. With that, let's take a quick breather and we'll be right back.
Va. 1, 2, 3, prova. Sì. 1, 2, prova. Sì. Ok. Va. 1, 2, 3, prova. Sì.
Thank you for joining us for our 4th human flight, and thank you for sticking with us throughout this hold. I spoke with our flight director, Nick Patrick, earlier this week, and as you know, holds are, of course, a completely normal part of our launch process. Safety, as we've said multiple times on today's webcast, is always the #1 priority at Blue Origin, so we need to continue to take this time to do those checks and make sure this mission is ready for launch today. Stay tuned. Thank you for joining us for our 4th human flight. As you may have seen on your screen, we did release the hold on the countdown clock. We're at T-minus 9 minutes and 30 seconds until our 4th human flight. Let's toss it to the rocket and stand by for mission control.
All stations, this is the flight director on Channel 1 and UHF voice for the go poll for terminal count and launch. Capsule.
Go.
Booster.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Safety. Capcom.
Go.
Engineering. Go. Copy all goes. This is flight director. New Shepard is go for launch. Booster, commence the terminal count.
We'll go flight.
As you just heard, we are go for launch for our 4th human flight. We're so excited for the Roaring 20s crew. Let's take a moment and take in the sights and sounds from Launch Site 1 as the minutes tick down on the launch clock here in West Texas. Okay, as we tick down to launch, Eddie, can you take us through today's New Shepard flight profile?
I'd love to, Jackie. So at T-minus 2.5 minutes, we effectively hand control over to our auto sequence. The flight controllers are essentially hands off. The rocket then gets ready to light the BE-3. Ignition happens at T0, followed by bootstrap and throttle up. Liftoff occurs at T+7 seconds, and that BE-3 engine powers the New Shepard vehicle through the atmosphere. Just before 1 minute, the vehicle reaches max Q, that's maximum dynamic pressure, the point of maximum stress for the structure. At 2 minutes, that main engine shuts off. We call that MECO, and at 2.5 minutes, the New Shepard vehicles separate into two, and the astronauts are free to float about the cabin. The PM reaches apogee at 4 minutes and starts to re-enter the atmosphere due to Earth's gravity. The fins steer back to the landing pad. The drag brakes deploy. The engine restarts for a nice, soft landing. Meanwhile, the astronauts were able to enjoy some microgravity time because the gumdrop shape of the capsule was much slower to re-enter. As that capsule pierces the atmosphere, we see drogues, we see mains, and shortly thereafter, the terminal deceleration system that causes the capsule to land on a cushion of air, that poof of dust. Touchdown, welcome back, astronauts. I'm so excited.
Thanks, Eddie. We're just about T-minus 5 minutes until liftoff. The 6 people on that live rocket are getting close to launching to space. Let's check in with them on the pad.
Buongiorno a tutti amici, stiamo per seguire il 20° lancio della New Shepard di Blue Origin. Questa è la 20ª missione e quarto volo spaziale umano, ok? Quindi insomma è un lancio abbastanza importante, è la quarta volta che gli umani vengono lanciati con questa navicella per poter provare l'assenza di gravità per 3 minuti.
We're just under T-minus 4 minutes to launch of the Roaring 20s crew. Eddie, you've been so lucky to be down here in West Texas for many a launch. What's happening across Launch Site 1 at this point when we're so close to liftoff?
Well, Jackie, it all starts at Mission Control. They are focused with final preparations, and it's a laser focus. They are there working through their steps, making sure that their systems are ready for launch. And we're just moments away from that here. Those bit checks, like we mentioned, will start at 2.5 minutes.
And the cool thing about those final checks, I mean, our crew is on board. They're feeling, they're hearing this living rocket. Just truly such an exciting moment for them.
Absolutely, that rocket is alive on the launch pad.
Thank you for joining us. As you've noticed, we've just entered what we expect to be a very brief hold here, just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Okay, that hold has been cleared. We're at about 3 minutes until launch. We understand the Roaring 20s, all 6 astronauts on board our 4th human flight are ready to go. Let's watch and listen as New Shepard goes through those final checks and revs up for today's flight.
And Jackie, as we mentioned, we've now entered auto sequence, so this rocket is going to automatically prep itself for launch. I can't wait to see what shows on our screen as the rocket prepares for liftoff. With just under 90 seconds to go, those aft fins at the base are actuating, going through their bit checks. They provide control authority for the vehicle on ascent and descent. At the same time, we should be able to see the engine nozzle gimbal. It will help maneuver the rocket as its primary form of control. We've entered a brief hold in that final countdown. Our teams will assess. We'll be right back.
That hold has been released. We're at about T-minus 1 minute to liftoff.
...50 secondi la partenza.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to launch this rocket. Godspeed, New Shepard. Godspeed to our crew. We're handing it over to Mission Control.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1.
Si parte. Questa è la quarta volta che Blue Origin porta gli astronauti a provare la
And liftoff. Mission Control has confirmed New Shepard has cleared the tower and is on its way to space with our 4th human flight crew.
Godspeed, New Shepard. Godspeed, the Roaring Twenties. Enjoy this ride.
You can see on the lower left-hand side of your screen, we are gaining speed as New Shepard lifts off towards space.
feet.
That beautiful burn on that BE-3 engine, lifting New Shepard towards space.
As we hit T plus 55 seconds, we will enter max Q, the point where aerodynamic stress on the vehicle is at its maximum. We just confirmed max Q, and that BE-3 engine doing some work, 8,000 horsepower equivalent of it, to produce 110,000 pounds of thrust on its way to space. We have a beautiful shot of the BE-3 engine there and its colorless exhaust. That's what happens when you mix liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. That is steam powering the rocket all the way up to the top. Here in 20 seconds, the BE-3 will throttle back, shut down, and will reach main engine cutoff. Stay tuned. There it is. Miko, way to go, BE-3. Thank you for powering our astronauts to space.
That was our main engine cutoff. Shortly here, we'll see separation of the crew capsule and the booster. At this point, our Capcom Kevin Sprague will momentarily cue the astronauts to unbuckle their harnesses and start floating around the capsule. Welcome to Zero G. Let's listen in as they float about the crew capsule.
Come vedete si è staccato il razzo che ha portato nella prima fase gli astronauti per poter dopo fare la loro esperienza nell'assenza di gravità. Questo razzo atterrerà in verticale per essere recuperato.
First step, Blue Control. This is your 1 minute warning. 1 minute warning.
Congratulations to all 6 crew. They crossed that Kármán line. They just officially became astronauts. Absolutely outstanding. You heard that audio online from Kevin Sprague, our capsule communicator, telling our crew, I'm sure they're having an amazing time up there, but they have to start getting ready to buckle back in. Shortly here, both the crew capsule and the booster will be descending.
That's right, Jackie. So unofficial numbers, but we saw an apogee of 351,000 feet. So definitely well into the Kármán line, well into space. Congratulations, astronauts. The rocket is now reaching, this is the booster portion of New Shepard, is reaching its atmospheric pierce point. It's returning from space. Those control surfaces, those wedge fins, those actuated aft fins are now starting to have a little bit of air resistance to push against. The booster will reach its maximum re-entry velocity, which is just under Mach 4. That's 4 times the speed of sound. And it's an incredible booster shape coming back down over the West Texas desert against those Texas blue skies. This is the fun part. The wedge fins, the steering fins, the ring fin, all earning their keep at this point. Really doing some work to bring that propulsion module over the landing pad. What an incredible sight out there. Here shortly, we'll see the air brakes deploy that will cut the velocity of the booster in half. There it is. This is a critical step in slowing the vehicle down before the BE-3 engine is reignited for the final portion of the descent. We had a sonic boom. Man, was that incredible. I love hearing that sound. And the BE-3 engine relights for the final portion of the descent. Touchdown, New Shepard. Welcome back to Earth. What an incredible feat of engineering required to bring this rocket back safely, reuse it. All I can ever say, Jackie, is wow.
Wow, Eddie, truly, no matter how many times we've seen this happen, a live booster landing onto that landing pad will take your breath away. And I have to say, Eddie, the char on the side of that New Shepard booster, there's nothing like it.
Right above that feather looks like, and we see, of course, the New Shepard propulsion module beginning to dump some of the excess propellants. That's a key step for our reusable booster. We'll vent the tanks, we will inert them. That'll maintain the cleanliness throughout and allow that booster to turn around and fly again. We've got a great shot there of the capsule.
There go the drogue parachutes they've deployed on our crew capsule to slow it down. And there go those main parachutes. Those 3 mains will slowly inflate to help slow down the return of the crew capsule. While the parachutes are, of course, essential to provide a gentle touchdown for the crew capsule, New Shepard also has that innovative retro thrust system to make our touchdown even smoother for the Roaring '20s crew flying today. From the blackness of space to the beautiful West Texas desert, our crew is getting an experience right now.
That was a quick 10 minutes. Get ready for the ground rush.
First step, Blue Control. Stand by touchdown. Stand by touchdown.
Come vedete sta anche atterrando la navicella, quindi praticamente è stata su quei 2 o 3 minuti per far provare l'atmosfera.
Woo! Crew capsule touchdown! Welcome back the Roaring 20s and astronaut Gary Lai.
That sounds like some happy crew members there. From the sounds of it, maybe all landed back safely and are doing great. We'll get confirmation from Mission Control here shortly.
What a beautiful shot of that booster and capsule in the West Texas desert for what looks like a wholly successful 4th human flight. That West Texas does kick up there for our crew, welcoming them back to Earth. At this point in the mission, our team is preparing landing safety operations and recovery of our astronauts from the crew capsule. We'll be on the ground at the landing site to follow that action in just a bit. And hopefully, Eddie, even talk to some of the world's newest official astronauts.
Prossimamente si potranno vedere
waves from our crew members looking great back here on Earth through those beautiful windows on New Shepard.
And live footage of 2 reusable spacecraft next to each other. What an accomplishment. Congratulations, Roaring 20s. Congratulations, Team Blue. What a day today.
Just a truly incredible moment. Our astronauts have returned home safely. Our crew team is on the way out to recover them from the capsule. Wow, what a day.
As we mentioned, it appears to be a safe launch and landing, so absolutely kudos, congratulations to the mission team and Mission Control for really pushing through it, staying determined on that long-term vision of flying people to space today.
Mission Control has officially confirmed, I mean, I think we can see it from the windows, but they've officially confirmed they've spoken with all 6 of our astronauts and they are doing great. Our crew has put the roaring in New Shepard 20. I think it is safe to say here today, Eddie, absolutely thrilled for these 6 astronauts.
And we've got just incredible shot right now of the desert, the mountains in the back, the blue skies. I can't wait to hear from these astronauts. What will they have to say about their experience today?
And there's our recovery crew racing through the desert out to the waiting crew capsule. Our recovery team will safe the capsule and ensure that the astronauts are ready to disembark. Shortly thereafter, they'll be followed by their friends and family. Eddie and I know they can't wait to give them a big hug and welcome them back to Earth.
For the friends and family in particular, a moment of anticipation before they welcome their astronauts back to Earth with warm hugs, kisses, and just celebration.
Thank you for joining us for what was a successful fourth human flight. Our recovery team has arrived on site. Stay tuned here because hopefully we'll be able to again hear from some of our crew members about these amazing experiences. Stay tuned. There's crew member 7, Sarah Knights, racing over to wave to the world's newest astronauts. Get that thumbs up from all 6 on board. The Roaring 20s crew is back, and there you see our crew member 7, Sarah Knights, with those stairs getting ready to open the hatch here in just a few moments. Beautiful shot there of our crew with their ride in the background, venting the propellants like Eddie mentioned just a few minutes ago.
And we see the vehicles approaching the crew capsule. That's going to be friends and family. And hopefully, as we said, we'll get a few words from our newly minted astronauts. And we'd be remiss to not mention huge kudos to our crew member 7, Sarah Knights, down there about to open the hatch. Our capsule communicator, Kevin Sprague, that was with our crew through the duration of their flight. Just an amazing role this crew member 7 does, shepherding our crew through this entire experience from astronaut training to touchdown. That's absolutely right, Jackie. It's why we call it Crew Member 7. We, Team Blue, through Sarah and through Kevin, ride with these astronauts to space and back, and we're with them every step of the way.
Bene, stanno per aprire il portellone e recuperare le persone che hanno provato anche oggi l'emozione di andare nell'assenza di gravità.
The hatch is open. Welcome back, Gary Live.
George Neal, congratulations. We should also have, there's Jim Kitchen with the 194. Congratulations. Thank you, Marty Allen, for riding the space today.
As we promised, allergies did not hold Marty back today.
And there's Miss Sharon Hagel with the fist pump. Congratulations.
And last but certainly not least, Mark Hagel. Welcome back, Mark.
Bene amici, questo è tutto. Vi ricordo questa sera alle ore 20 la diretta con l'altra faccia della medaglia e alle ore 21 lo speciale Ucraina con Claudio e Cristina. Vi salutiamo e vi auguriamo un buon proseguimento di giornata. Ciao a tutti. Ciao da All Radio Wood.
I don't know that I could even, words could do that justice. Just have to feel it.
How is it going up for you?